Hello, everybody. My name is Ashley Dangerfield, and I am with the Positive Life Network. And I am bringing to you tonight Life Launch 2014, where I have put together 9 leaders in success to reveal their secrets on how to take your life to the next level in 2014. And tonight I have an individual. His name is Myron Golden. Now, Myron has a very unique story. It's a story about success against all odds. And he talks about in his story, I'm not going to share with you. You can go to he'll share some tonight and at myrongolden.com. But, you know, he was reluctant at one time to share his secrets. And tonight I'm really, really excited to bring him on Life Launch 2014 to share a few secrets about how he can demonstrate selling and success and how that works in your professional life and in your personal life as well. Myron comes to me. He is an international speaker. He is my personal success mentor, and so I am really honored, Myron, to have you on the call tonight because you have definitely done some things in my life to transform the way I look at my success and how I operate on a daily basis and how I look at how to be successful. And so, without further ado, I'm gonna turn it over to you. But I want to tell you something, Myron, because of talking to you today, I have decided to do something really interesting, and I want you to help me do this, okay?
Okay, fantastic.
All right. Well, what I've done is I have put together a deal for everybody on the call, and a deal for everybody that's not on the call tonight. Mm-hmm. And what that deal looks like is I know that everybody can't be on all 9 sessions, and I know that a lot of people want to share Life Launch 2014 and the different sessions, and you tonight, Myron, they want to share that with their friends, their coworkers, their spouse. And I've had a lot of requests for, are we going to have replays? Are we going to have, the whole session put together? And yes, we are. But Myron, I've learned something from you that I want to share with everybody is that I thought about doing $47 as an early bird price and a $97 afterwards, after the event ends on the 22nd of January. But you know what? I thought about it, and after listening to Steve Eanes about go-giving, being a go-giver in your business and in your personal life, and talking about Brad Axelrad talking about conquering your fear and jumping on that dragon and riding it, and all the other wonderful speakers, I've decided that for the rest of this presentation, till the 22nd, that I'm going to give away all 9 sessions for $20.14. How do you like that?
I love it.
Yes,
that wouldn't have anything to do with it being 2014, would it?
Well, I didn't even think of it. I didn't even think of it that way. But you know what? Life Launch 2014, the full audio and video replay, $20.14 until though the event is over, and then it will go back up to the retail price that we'll be selling it at $97. So anyway, just want to throw that in there. But I got this. The different things that I'm doing different in my life in 2014, a lot of it has come from you, Myron, and I'm excited to turn it over to you and let everybody else enjoy some of these skills for launching your life and success in 2014. So without further ado, Myron Golden.
Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that introduction, and I appreciate you and all that you're doing and all that you bring to the table. And I trust that my volume's okay. You can hear me okay?
I think so, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, Ashley, my name is Myron Golden, which I wasn't always proud of, and I'm not going to go into my whole lifelong story, but is it okay if I share a little of my story so folks can know who's talking to them?
Oh, sure, I appreciate it.
Okay, fantastic. So I got started, I was born May 14th, right here in Tampa, Florida, 1961. I was born in a segregated hospital. Now, that basically means the quality of the hospital was not as good because they didn't have, the hospital didn't have access to all of the things that other hospitals had access to. And I contracted polio before I was a year old. So I got sick. I didn't know what was wrong. My parents didn't know what was wrong with me. In fact, they moved from Tampa, Florida, all the way to Pennsylvania before I got diagnosed and treated. As a result of that, and I need to find my phone to make sure that it doesn't ring. My apologies. I need to do that real quickly because I just dinged for an email. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. So I contracted polio before I was a year old. And when I contracted polio, my parents moved all the way to Pennsylvania before I got diagnosed and treated. As a result of that, are we still there, Ashley? Okay. As a result of that, what happened was my parents took me to Pennsylvania. I got diagnosed and treated. There we go. And I've walked with a brace on my leg my entire life. So now here I am, 52 years old, almost 53 years old. And so I walk with a limp. I've got a brace on my leg. I didn't really do well in school. I struggled all the way through high school and managed to graduate. I don't know how. And don't have a college degree, but I've had the ability to create some success in my life in business and the ability to create some success in other people's lives. In fact, I was just speaking with my top student earlier this week, and he's on a 7-day cruise. And his business that I taught him how to start and build, his business does over $1 million a month in revenue. And I'm going to share some concepts with you, some real simple concepts. I don't have any complicated stuff to share with you, but I want to share with you some really simple concepts that can take your life to another level. I believe that 2014 is going to be the beginning of a boom that's going to last for at least 7 years, that are going to be unlike anything we've ever seen in world history. I believe that we're going to go to another level, that incomes are going to go up, the top incomes are going to go up, even bottom incomes are going to go up. There's going to be so much prosperity. It's going to make the prosperity of the 80s look like it didn't even happen. And I believe that's what's going to take place. But you've got to learn how to capitalize on that. So I was at the golf course today. Hence I have on my Titleist cap. Okay. I was at the golf course today, and when the valet that was parking my car, they were asking me some questions, a couple of young ladies, a young man, and I was giving them some tips on how to create wealth. They said, well, how do you get rich, though? I said, well, you don't do it the way most people think you do it. And I asked them, name somebody rich, and of course they said, who? Same person everybody thinks of, Bill Gates. And I asked them the question, do you think Bill Gates works as hard as you do? And one of them said yes. And I said, I promise you he does not work as hard as you do. Now, he did when he got started, but he doesn't now. And the difference between rich people and poor people is rich people value time more than they value money, and poor people value money more than they value time. Now, how can you determine whether or not you value time or money more? The quality of your life is going to be determined by the quality of your time, not by the quality of your stuff. So I want you to think about that. The quality of your life is going to be determined by the quality of your time. What do you get to spend your time doing? Rich people value their time so much that what they do is they say, you know what, I would rather take some of my money and buy back some of my time. How do I do that? I do that by paying somebody else to do the things I don't want to do. I do that by spending the money to learn the things I don't currently know how to do. So rich people use their money to buy back their time. Poor people use their time to get money. How do they do that? They go get a job making $10 an hour, $20 an hour, $50 an hour, $100 an hour. Or they start a business, like becoming an attorney, and they make $250 an hour. Or $300 an hour, or they become a doctor and maybe a specialist and they make $400 or $500 an hour. But the fact is, it's really, really hard to get rich selling your time. And the reason it's hard to get rich selling your time for money is because you have a limited amount of time. So when you sell your time, you can only make a limited amount of money. So if you really want to create wealth for yourself, what you have to do is you have to figure out what's valuable in the marketplace and then go out there and sell that value in the marketplace in exchange for money. So I'm going to give you real quickly a way to make $1 million in 2014. I'm not saying you're going to make $1 million, but I'm going to give you a way to make $1 million in 2014. You could go out and find 1 million people and sell them a product that has a $1 profit. Now, is that easy to do? Well, it's a whole lot easier to do right now than it's ever been before, because you could go out, you could create some kind of app that goes viral, and then 1 million people download it, and you made $1 million. And there are people who have free apps that people download into the millions, and because they have advertising on the apps, then they make millions of dollars a month because of free apps that they've given away. So you could do it that way. Or You could have a $10 product and sell 100,000 of them. Or you could have a $100 product and sell 10,000 of them. Or you could have a $1,000 product and sell 1,000 of them. Or you could have a $10,000 product and sell 100 of them. Now, I know I just mentioned a lot of numbers, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to figure out how much money you want to make. And ask yourself, am I making that amount of money now? And if you're not making that amount of money now, I promise you, I know why, even though I don't know you. And it's because you sell your time for money instead of using money to buy back the rest of your life. The reason I get to play golf 3 or 4 or sometimes 5 times a week is because I have used my money to buy back my life. And I'm going to teach you some things about selling on this hangout tonight. Some things that will change the quality of your life forever. Everything that you have in your life, you have because somebody somewhere sold something to someone. So I want to talk to you about how you can do this, how you can sell your way to wealth. I've made millions of dollars in my life. I've taught other people how to make millions of dollars and build million and multi-million dollar businesses. And I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to teach you how to be a multi-millionaire or make multi-millions of dollars. I don't know what you're going to do. You may do something, you may do nothing. But I'm going to teach you tonight in the next 40 minutes or so. I'm going to teach you how to take your life to a level you've never imagined before, but then you've got to take the action and do it. So and the way you do it is through something you probably don't like to do, and that is selling. And selling can make your life better in ways you can't even imagine. By the way, selling will help you get a better job at a better company or a better job at the company you're at now. If you just want to have your job, selling can help you get a raise and make more money at your job when you understand how to sell, like I'm going to teach you some of those concepts tonight. So I want you to learn how to sell your way to wealth. If you want to be wealthy, then just pay close attention, take notes to everything I'm about to share with you. I've made more money per hour selling than I've ever made in 10 years having a job. I've made more money in an hour selling than I've ever made in 10 years having a job, on multiple occasions. Why? Because I understand if I can bring enough value to the marketplace, the value that I bring to the marketplace then helps me create wealth for myself and for my family, and I can teach you how to do the same thing. So the first thing I want to tell you, if you're taking notes, is this. Selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world. Selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world. Most people don't understand what selling is. And here's what I mean by that. Most people think that selling is talking people into buying what they don't want, don't need, and can't afford. I'm going to say that again. Most people think that selling is talking people into buying things they don't want, don't need, and can't afford. But that's not selling. I'm going to show you what selling is. I want you to put your hands together like this. Okay, put your hands together like this. And I want you to understand that selling is uncovering the value of what I have to offer so well that people are happy to exchange the money they have in their pocket for the value I've revealed. I'm going to say that again, and I want you to say it like that. So selling is when you uncover the value of what you have to offer so well that people are happy to exchange the money they have in their pocket for the value you revealed. Now you're selling. Okay, so selling is about uncovering value, and when people aren't doing good in sales, what they do is they lower the price, not realizing that the price has nothing to do with it. I can prove to you that the price has nothing to do with it because there are cars in the marketplace that sell for $15,000. But in that same marketplace, there are cars that sell for $1.5 million. They're both cars. What's the difference in a $15,000 car and a $1.5 million car? Is the difference $1,485,000 in price in components? No. The difference is the way they value, the way they wrap up the value of that product. And I'm not saying that you need to buy $1 million car, but I'm saying price has nothing to do with selling. ever, almost never does price have anything to do with it. So selling is uncovering the value of what I have to offer so well that people are happy to exchange the money that they have in their pocket for the value I've revealed. Which means selling, if I am the salesman, if I am selling something, the selling process is never about me. The selling process is about the people I'm selling to. Now, so selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world. And if you understood selling more, you would love to sell. In fact, we have been programmed on a subconscious level by the media to hate business owners and to hate business and to hate entrepreneurship and to hate selling. We've been programmed to be that way on a subconscious level. We've been programmed to think of business as something that takes away from people. But business, nothing contributes more. Very few things contribute more in our society than somebody starting and owning and operating a successful business. Very few things in this world provide as much value in the marketplace as somebody who goes out and starts a business and sells a product. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to take your wallet out of your pocket or out of your purse, get your wallet out, take out a piece of money. It can be $1. It can be a $5 bill. It could be a 20. It could be whatever. It could be a credit card. It could be a checkbook. It could be anything that represents money. And what I want you to do is I want you to look at that thing that represents money, whether it be that credit card, whether it be that credit card, whether it be that checkbook, that cash, whatever it is that represents money. The thing that you have in your hand that represents money, I want you to look at it. And I want you to realize something. The only reason you ever have any money to do anything you want to do for yourself or the people you care about, the only reason you were able to buy Christmas presents for the people you love, the only reason you're able to buy food for the people you love, the only reason you can put a roof over the head of your family is because somebody somewhere started a business that sells a product to someone else. I want you to wrap your mind around that. If it were not for sales and salespeople, nobody would ever have any money to sell anything to anyone, ever, or have any money to buy anything from anyone. So selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world. I want you to think about the last new gadget that you bought. It may have been an iPhone, it may have been an iPad, it may have been a computer, it may have been a new car, a new house. I want you to think about whatever that last purchase was that you made. I want you to think about how happy you were when you bought it and how excited you were to unwrap it and to open it. I want you to think about that. Well, guess what? Very few things create as much joy and happiness and excitement in the world as selling. You say, well, no, selling doesn't, buying does. But there would be no buying were there not selling. So selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world. And you want to get good at selling, but you will never get good at selling if you operate off of the current programming that you have in your life right now, where you've been programmed on a subconscious level to hate sales. Not on the conscious level, but on the subconscious level, you've been programmed to hate sales, okay, and to not like selling. And then you haven't learned how to do it. People think selling is hard. So, selling is really one of the easiest things to do in the world because most people hate to sell, which means they only love to buy. So selling is the most profitable profession in the world. And here's what I mean by that. 95% of the people in this world hate to sell. Only 5% of us like to sell. I want you to think about that. If 5% of the people like to sell and 95% of the people hate to sell, there's only one alternative to selling, and that alternative to selling is buying. And if 95% of the people hate to sell, that means that those 95% of the people only love to buy. So if 95% of the people love to buy and only 5% of the people love to sell, that means that 5% of people who love to sell will never run out of people to sell to. You need to come over to our side. You need to come over to the side of people who love to sell and say, you know what, I'm going to learn how to do this. Because if you are not out selling, you are being outsold. See, everybody is a buyer. Everybody is a consumer. Everybody buys. So doesn't it make sense to not be only a buyer, but to become a buyer and a seller? This is the only way I mean, it's the best way. It's not the only way. It's the best way. It's the fastest way to create wealth for yourself is to learn how to sell. And you may be asking yourself the question, learn how to sell what? Learn how to sell whatever it is you are selling. Learn how to convey the emotion that causes people to want to buy. People do not buy based on logic in their head. People buy based on emotion in their heart. People buy because they feel like buying. And all you have to do is help people feel like buying what you are selling. Selling is the most profitable profession in the world. I want you to think about this. I'm going to ask you a question, and it doesn't look like we can take comments. I guess we can't take comments. I'm not sure. I'm going to comment tracker. So I'm going to ask a question, and I don't know if I can see the answers or not, but I'm going to ask the question. What do you think is the difference in income in the lowest paid street sweeper in the world and the highest paid street sweeper in the world? What do you think the difference is in annual income? Do you think the difference might be $10,000 a year? Do you think the difference in annual income between the lowest paid street sweeper in the world and the highest paid street sweeper in the world, you think the difference might be $15,000 a year? It's not much more than that. What about forklift driver? It's going to be somewhere between the difference between the lowest and the highest in the world, the worst and the best in the world. The difference between the worst forklift driver in the world and the best forklift driver in the world is probably going to be what? What do you think? $5,000, $10,000, $15,000? What do you think? School teachers. The difference between the best school teacher in the world and the worst school teacher in the world. What might it be? It might be $20,000, maybe $30,000. What's the difference between the best computer technician in the world? Guy works on computers. Best in the world, worst in the world. What's the difference in their annual income? $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, maybe $30,000. Okay, let's call it $50,000 because some people they work on big computers, so they get paid $50,000 more than the worst computer technician in the world. When you talk about sales, the difference between the worst salesperson in the world and the best salesperson in the world is billions of dollars. The highest paid salesperson in the world is Bill Gates. He is the highest paid salesperson in the world. I remember one day I was at the driving range, and I was talking to a guy who was hitting balls. I said, what do you do for work? He said, I work for Microsoft. I said, man, how do you like that? That's got to be pretty cool, huh? He said, well, not really. I said, really? He said, no, I was really excited about going to work for Microsoft because I thought they were a technology company. But after I got my job, I was very disappointed because I found out they're really a marketing company. They're not about the technology at all. They're all about the marketing. And I said, that's interesting. No wonder Bill Gates is the richest man in the world. He built his whole company around marketing, not around. He built his technology company around marketing, not around technology. I want you to think about that. Okay, so selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world. Selling is the most profitable profession in the world. And I want you to understand something else. You, man, woman, boy, or girl, watching this Google Hangout right now, you are a natural born salesperson. Everybody's a natural born salesperson. When you come into this world selling like nobody's business, and then as you grow older, you get programmed not to sell. When you're born, you're selling. Wah! Pick me up. Wah! Change my diaper. Wah! Play with me. Wah! Wake up in the middle of the night and hold me. Wah! And we just pound it. When you're a baby, you just pound it. You want what you want, and you don't care about rejection. You learn to care about rejection. You're not born caring about it. You don't care about rejection. Mommy, can I have a cookie? No, baby, not right now. 2 minutes later, now can I have a cookie? No, baby, you can't have a cookie right now. Mommy will let you know when you can have a cookie. Mommy, will you let me know I can have a cookie now? And over, we just hammer it. And okay, here, take the whole box of cookies, right? Because we are all natural born salespeople. We go to school, and You know, if you're a boy, maybe you sold your Hot Wheels cars or your Matchbox cars. Never mind. They don't even have that anymore. Whatever it is. Whatever the toys are kids play with these days. When I was a kid, it was baseball cards. Maybe you made cookies and you took the cookies, or maybe you bought candy, you went to Sam's Club, bought some candy, and then you went to school and you would sell the candy for a quarter a piece, and the teacher found out you were selling candy, and they took it from you, and they took the money, and they said, you can't solicit here, and they made it sound like a disease, and you were reprimanded, and they made you feel guilty about the natural instinct that you have inside of you to provide value for people and get paid in exchange for that. You are a natural born salesperson. You learned not to sell. How did you learn not to sell? Because when you were a little kid, you sold something to your brother, and your parents said, you can't sell that to your brother. He's your brother. Just give it to him. And then you sold something to one of your friends, and he said, you can't sell something to, you can't, you know, it's your friend. You should help him because you're a friend. You can't take money from a friend. Just help them because they're your friend. And of course, you can't take money from strangers. So you can't take money from your family. You can't accept money from strangers. You can't accept money from friends. Who's left? The only people left are enemies. You don't want to do business with them, so you just say, you know what, I'm going to go get a job and I'm going to sell all my time to the highest bidder. So you are a natural born salesperson. You were programmed not to sell. But I want to tell you something. Selling at its highest level is a skill. And it is a skill that you can learn. And believe it or not, you may not be a good talker. You may not be that person who has a lot of words to say. But believe it or not, selling is not really about being able to talk well. Did I just say that? Selling is not about being able to talk well. Selling is about being able to be quiet, and listen well. Selling is not about being able to talk well. And people who think that selling is about being able to talk well don't understand selling. And the skills that are involved in selling can be learned. The first thing you need to learn in selling is you need to learn the selling mindset. You need to learn how to think about sales and think about selling and think about the person who's going to buy from you in a very different way than you've thought of before. When you're in selling, you can't think about yourself. You can't see the people you're talking to with dollar signs on their head and you see their, I gotta sell them so I can get paid. No, selling is about providing value for those people. And when you provide that value, drinking my Trump ice, my man Donald Trump there, drinking my Trump ice from my visit to Trump International Golf Course. I love golf, so if you love golf, maybe we'll get together and play sometime. But selling is about skills that you can learn. And when you learn these skills, it's like painting by the numbers. Remember those little paint by the numbers kits we used to get when we were little kids, and, you know, paint red and color number 7 and paint blue and color, and you're painting in all these colors, you don't even know what you're doing, and all of a sudden you get done, it's like, oh, it's a picture. How did I do that? Okay. Well, selling is like that. Selling can be learned. It is a skill that can be learned. I believe that I'm a very good teacher of how to sell. I've taught a lot of people how to sell. I've got students who are in their 20s who are making multiple 6 figures per year selling. And that's not to say that you're going to make multiple 6 figures per year if I teach you how to sell. You might make multiple 6 figures. You might make $6. You might make $60 million. You might not make anything. I don't know. It depends on the work that you put into learning the skills and then applying those skills. But I used to be a trash man. I drove a garbage truck for $6.25 an hour. I learned how to sell, and I got really, really good at it. I remember one time I made a sale. I made a sale to a CEO of a corporation on a whim. The day that I met him, we went out to eat. We talked some business, and in 15 minutes, I gave him a presentation. I told him what I could do for his company. Now, I listened to him first because I just met him that day, and I listened to him talk for about 3 or 4 hours. And I figured out what he wanted. And when I figured out what he wanted, I put together a package for him. And I told him what I could do for him. And here's what he said. He said, "You would do that for us?" I said, "I would." And he said, "How much is it going to cost us?" I said, "It's only going to cost $400,000. And it's only half down and the other half on delivery." He said, "Do you take checks?" I said, "I do." He said, "Do you want it made out to yourself or do you want it made out to your company?" I said, "Make it out to my company." I told him how to spell my company. He picked up the phone, called his accounting department, and said, "Bring me a check for $200,000 made out to Skillionaire Enterprises, Inc." And he gave me a check, and we created value for him, and we made a $400,000 sale in 15 minutes. That's the beauty of selling. See, it doesn't take any longer to make a $10,000 sale than it does to make a $10 sale. And I want to teach you how to sell. I've created a course, and I'm going to share some other principles with you, but I know some of you want to get it early because I've got a special fast action bonus for those of you who take action while the hangout is still going on. I used to be a trash man. I made $6.25 per hour as a trash man. I went from $6.25 an hour to six figures per month. And I'm not saying that because you can think I'm wonderful. It doesn't mean I'm wonderful. It just means I learned something that I didn't know before. And I want to teach you some of those things that I learned about selling so that you can go out and create a better life for yourself and your family. And so I wrote a book called From the Trash Man to the Cash Man, How Anyone Can Get Rich Starting from Anywhere. But if you go to my website, myrongolden.com, and click on Special Offer, click on the Special Offer tab at the top of the page, I've created a special offer for a product that I have that retails for $497. It's called Sell Your Way to Wealth. It retails for $497. I'm going to let you get it tonight for either 2 payments of $147 or 1 payment of $197, and I'm going to throw in another couple $1,000 worth of bonuses. Here's what you're going to get, and then I'm going to go back to training. So don't go anywhere. So in addition to, if you order before this hangout is over in the next 25 minutes, if you order before the hangout is over, I am going to send you a copy of my international best-selling book, From the Trash Man to the Cash Man, How Anyone Can Get Rich Starting from Anywhere. We've sold over 140,000 copies of that book. I want you to think about that, 140,000 copies. And that was before we were on Amazon. That's without being in bookstores. That's just selling books on our websites and at our seminars and to corporations, 140,000 books. I'm going to give you a signed copy of my book if you place your order for Sell Your Way to Wealth before this hangout is over. But in the next 24 hours, everybody who orders in the next 24 hours, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get 2 tickets to a live event with me, not with somebody I sent, but with me right here in Tampa, Florida at my training center. My training center is called The Next Level. You're going to get 2 tickets to my 2-day seminar. My 2-day seminar is called The 1 Year Millionaire Live. It goes from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening on Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday, and I teach you 3 different millionaire formulas and so many principles about creating wealth that it's not even funny. So when you come to that event, when you come to the 1 Year Millionaire Live, you're going to get 2 tickets for that event. When you come to that event, if you're not absolutely blown away by what you learn at that event and what you learn on this course, once you come to that event, all you have to do is say, "Myron, I don't feel like it was worth my time. I feel like you wasted my time. And I am going to, at that event, I'm going to write you a check for twice what you paid for this course." That's what I said. When you come to that event, you say, "Myron, I don't feel like this was worth my time. I'm going to write you a check for twice what you paid for that event." Why? Because I don't want to waste your time, but I already know it's not going to waste your time. And here's what we're going to do. You go and you place your order. Go to myrongolden.com, just like my name is spelled right there on the lower third, myrongolden.com. When you go to myrongolden.com and you click on the Special Offer tab, and you can either do 1 payment of $197 or 2 payments of $147, and it's going to take you to a login page to create a username and password. You'll have access to your product tonight as soon as this webinar is over. Plus, I'm going to email you instantly the bonuses. Here are the bonuses you're going to get. You're going to get my DVD. Well, it's a video. You're not going to get the physical DVD. You're going to get the video called The Fastest Way to Your First Million. It's a video that I sell for $97 all over the world. You're going to get that for free. You're going to get another video called, it's the presentation I did on automatic success principles. It's going to blow your mind. Do you realize that people who succeed do it effortlessly? And people who struggle effortlessly. People who are struggling are not trying to struggle. But I want to share something that might be surprising to you. People who are succeeding are not trying to succeed any more than people who are struggling are trying to struggle. And I break that down for you and show you what you have to do to break out of automatic struggle mode and get into automatic success mode in this video entitled The Automatic Success Principle. So it's a whole seminar I did on automatic success. You're going to get the video for that. That's also a $97 value. You're going to get that absolutely free. Number 3, you're going to get, as a bonus, the fastest way to your first million. The fastest way to your first million is a video. I already told you about that one. You're also going to get the audio called Automatic Success Principles. My mentor, the guy that taught me how to make $1 million a year, that guy is interviewing me on a program called Automatic Success Principles, where I explain automatic success and how I discovered the concept of automatic success and how you can be an automatic success as well. You're going to get that audio program, which my mentor sells right now. He sells it, I think, for $67. So you get all of that, plus the 2 tickets to my 1 Year Millionaire Live, which are $1,297 a piece. You get all of that for either one payment of $197 or 2 payments of $147. Now, some of you are wondering, well, if it's worth all that, how come you're giving us such a discount? Well, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna be really, really transparent with you. I'm gonna tell you exactly why I'm giving you a discount. Because I have programs that sell for a lot more than that. I've got programs that sell for $10,000. I've got programs that sell for $15,000. I've got my highest ticket item sells for individuals, not for corporations. Corporations, as you already know, it can be hundreds of thousands, but for individuals, my biggest coaching package is a $50,000 per year coaching package. Well, that $50,000 per year coaching package, you can't afford it yet, probably. And if you can afford it, if you can't afford it, I want to help you. I want to give you what I call a foot in the door discount, so I can teach you what I believe is the most important skill in business, selling, so that you can learn how to take your selling life to the next level and make more money so you can afford to buy some of my more expensive stuff. Now you know why I'm giving you a discount. Because when I give you a discount on this, then later down the road you might buy my leverage lead list building program that is a $5,000 program. Or you might buy my How to Be a Best-Selling Author course for $9,000. Or you might buy my How to Be a Top Speaker, Public Speaker course for $12,000. I don't know. I don't know what you'll buy. You might become an Inner Circle student for $50,000 a year. But in order for you to do that, you're probably going to want to get your income up. So if I teach you how to make $250,000 a year, I believe that there's not a person listening to me right now who wouldn't pay me $50,000 a year of that. So it just makes sense to me. If I give you a foot in the door discount, let you get your foot in the door for only $197 or 2 payments of $147, well then down the road, it'll give you the ability to buy something more bigger from me. If you make that order before we end the webinar, the hangout tonight, I'm going to send you a copy of my book free with your free tickets. The tickets you're going to get in the mail. Everything else you're going to get, you are going to get you're going to have instant access to your entire course and instant access to the bonuses. You don't have to wait for anything to come in the mail. It's like instantaneous. Okay, and I know that when you get something, I know when I buy something, I want it instantly. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait until later. I don't want to wait until down the road. I want access to my stuff right now. So go to MyronGolden.com, click on the special offer page, and take advantage of that offer. Now, let me get back to the training. So we were programmed not to sell. Selling is a skill that can be learned. Now, here's one of the most important things that you will learn about selling. Selling is a process. It is not an event. Now, that's really exciting to me. It's one of the most exciting things that I've ever discovered about selling. Selling is a process. It is not an event. What does that mean? That means that if I do the steps in the process, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, if I go through the 5 steps in the selling process, the sale happens automatically. I don't have to try to talk somebody into buying something. In fact, when I sell to people, I don't have to ask them to buy. They ask me if they can buy. When I sell to people, they ask me if I can buy. I know you want to learn that skill. So selling is a skill that can be learned, but selling is a process. It is not an event. And what you have to do is you have to learn the process of selling. You have to get good at the process. And if you will get good at the process, the selling will take care of itself. So get good at the process, and the sale will take care of itself. So that's one thing. The next thing I want you to understand, it's probably going to blow your mind, and I know you've never heard anybody say this before, but I'm going to say it. Selling is a spiritual activity, not a materialistic activity. Selling is a spiritual activity, not a materialistic activity. You say, what are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about spirituality. Things that are spiritual in nature can only be processed and comprehended by human beings. Spirituality is the thing that separates human beings from the animal kingdom. People say, well, man's just a higher form of animal. No, man's not an animal. Man may be a mammal, but man is not an animal at all. Man is a man, and we're very different than animals. Human beings are the only creatures on earth whose life experience is progressively productive. What do I mean progressively productive? Human beings are the only creatures on earth that create modes of transportation. You know, 1,000 years ago, there were chariots. Horses pulled chariots. Horses have never ridden in a chariot that's been pulled by man because human beings are progressively productive. Now, if I sit down at my table and I eat some food, a chimpanzee can sit beside me and eat some food with it, and I could probably teach a chimpanzee to eat with a knife and fork. That's probably a possibility. I don't know if it's possible or not, but it seems like it probably be possible. Teach a chimpanzee to eat with a knife and fork. So eating is a materialistic activity. But if before I eat, I bow my head and I pray and I thank God for the food, when I do that, the chimpanzee can't understand what I'm doing. They might be able to go through the motions, but they have no idea what I'm doing because praying is a spiritual activity. Talking is language, is spiritual because it's something that happens with human beings that can't happen in the animal kingdom. Reading is spiritual. It requires an understanding of how to translate these images off this page into words that my mind can grasp and wrap concepts around. It's a spiritual activity. But not only is it spiritual because it's something the animal kingdoms, and nothing in the animal kingdom has created currency. Now, they may trade things in the animal kingdom. There may be some species of animal that I'll give you this if you give me that. But for the most part, they don't create something separate, a piece of paper. They don't create checks. They don't create checks, and you write a check that represents some money that's in a place that you've never even seen before, and it means I'm going to pay you. Animals don't create that. So the whole concept of money is a spiritual concept. It's not a material that people think money is always materialistic. Money is very spiritual. The fact that I've got to have faith, the only reason the money has value is because you believe it's valuable and I believe it's valuable. That's the only value that it has. So it's spiritual. The concept of money is a spiritual concept. It represents, the money is not valuable. It's what the money represents that's valuable. And it's my faith in the thing the money represents and my faith in the ability that the money has the capability of accurately representing that thing. That's what makes money valuable. And when I'm selling to you, you by faith have to believe that I am going to deliver you an equal amount of value to the thing that you are buying from me. So when you give me the money, I give you the value. And when that happens, you say, okay, I'll pay you for that. Or when you sell me, when you uncover some value to me, I'll say, okay, I'll pay you for that. That's spiritual. It's your faith in my willingness to pay, my faith and your willingness to provide me value, or vice versa. So therefore, selling is a spiritual activity. Now, when you get my Sell Your Way to Wealth audio course, you're going to get, it's 5 audios. There are 2 audios on the Sell Your Way to Wealth selling a mindset. If you don't understand how to think about selling, you will never get good at selling. I used to be a high school golf coach, and I love teaching golf, and I was at the driving range, and there's a young man that works there, and he was like, okay, Mr. Golden, I want my golf lesson, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, here's what you need to understand about golf. You need to understand the definition of golf. And if I ask you what is golf, people hit a ball with a stick, but that's not the definition of golf. I'm going to give you the Myron Golden definition of golf. The Myron Golden definition of golf is repeatedly sending a ball to a target with a stick in the least number of hits possible, or strokes possible. That's what it is, sending a ball to a target with a stick in the least number of strokes possible. That's golf. Well, until you understand what selling is, you will never get good at it. Just like until somebody understands what golf is, they'll never get good at it. See, when I understand what golf is, my first question is, what's the target? When I understand what selling is, my question is, what's the value? So golf, sending a ball to a target. First question, what's the target? In selling is uncovering the value of what I have to offer so well that people are happy to exchange the money they have in their pocket for the value you've revealed. When I do that, then the question is, what's the value? So if you want to take advantage of this offer, you've got 24 hours to take advantage of it. When you take advantage of it, in the next 24 hours, the offer will be there, but the bonuses will disappear. So what you want to do is take advantage of the offer before the bonuses disappear. So with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you being on the Hangout tonight. I hope you learned something about selling that you'll be able to use to take your life to another level. Either get good at selling your spouse on your ideas, selling your children on your ideas, selling your parents on your ideas, selling your boss on giving you a raise or a better job, selling a future employer on hiring you, or going out in the marketplace and creating your own value and then selling that value to the world. This time, I appreciate you being on the webinar, on the Hangout. Ashley, I don't know if you're going to open it up for questions or not, but I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Myron. Can you see me?
I can't. Now I can see you.
Oh, you can see me now?
I can see you now.
Which one? All right. Can you see me now?
I can see you now.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Myron. I did have a couple questions, actually.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'd love to answer.
Yeah, well, let me ask one question, okay? We had Victor Antoni on the call, and he also talked about selling. He talked about the sales conversation as opposed to the sales presentation. It was really interesting, and he opened it up similar, like you do, about that we all are selling, whether it is the kids or the wife, the boyfriend, girlfriend, and we're all selling, and that really Yeah, and that really transformed the way I look at everything. So, whether every time something's happening to me, I feel like I'm being sold now. So, but one of the things that has come up with different individuals, personally and professionally, is what if you're not a good closer? I mean, I can sell you a lot of things. I can begin to sell you a lot of things. I can pique your interest. I can get you really there. I can tempt you. But closing is a different story. Can you just touch on that before we end?
I certainly can. And the last module in my training course is on closing. And closing is like selling itself, and that is closing is a process. It is not an event. And the reason people struggle in the arena of closing when it comes to selling is because they try to turn the close into an event instead of a process. For instance, if I was selling, give me something that people sell, anything, and I'll give you an example of what I mean.
What do people sell? I mean, some people sell houses, some people services.
Houses, that's fine. So let's say I'm a real estate agent. I've never been a real estate agent in my life, but I'm going to be a real estate agent right now, okay? So if I'm showing you a house and I want you to buy this house and I see you like this house, the first thing I'm going to do, the closing process begins when I'm showing you the house. So I'm going to ask you this question, and the question is going to be, so when you get a house, if you were to get this house, what would your theme be for this room? What would your furniture be for this room? Okay, can you see your art beautifully hung on these walls? Selling is about questions. It's not, remember what I said? It's about being able to be quiet and listen well. So you ask people, learn to ask people questions that paint them into ownership of what you are selling. That's number one. After you walk them through the house, you ask them a question, and that question is this: what did you like best about this house? That's the beginning of the closing process. What did you like best about this house? Well, I'll tell you, I like the big rooms, and I like the open floor plan, and I like the big backyard. And then you ask them this question: if you had the opportunity to start benefiting from the big rooms, the open floor plan, and the big backyard sooner or later, would you choose later or would you choose sooner? And they're going to say, what, Ashley? I'd choose
now.
Exactly, now. Excellent. So I'd choose now. Okay, fantastic. So what questions, if any, do you have for me? And then I'm going to let them ask me all their questions. One of the most important processes in the closing, one of the most important sequences in the closing process is getting your prospect to ask all their questions. Most people who are in sales are afraid of questions. Afraid of the prospect asking them questions. Get your prospect to ask you all of their questions before you go for the close.
I like that.
So when they go ask you all their questions, when you go to what would you like to start benefiting from this sooner, or would you choose later, or would you choose sooner? They say sooner. You say, great. How do you spell your first name? And you start filling it out on the application. How do you spell your last name? Excellent. And then you get all of their details and you ask them those questions. I go into it in a lot more detail in the course, but at the last module is on closing. Closing is the easiest part of the sale if you do the other parts right. So module one and module 2 are on mindset. Module 3 is on lead generation. Module 4 is on presentation. Module 5 is on closing, plus the bonuses that I spoke about.
Awesome.
What other questions do you have for me, Ashley?
Well, along the same line, what makes individuals so fearful, if you will? What is the core fear of why we have such a hard time closing? Because so many people, they may be good at that presentation, but when they get to that close, they just really bomb. What is that fear? What is that?
Well, it's one of two things. Either they were reprimanded by an authority figure as a child, which is probably it. Largely, I mean, that's really a big one. Or number 2, they are thinking about what they get out of the process. They're thinking about themselves. When you are in a selling situation, as hard as it is to do it first, the last person you should be thinking about is yourself. Because I know if I can uncover enough value for you, the sale will take care of itself, and me wanting to make some money from the sale becomes irrelevant.
So since you're very faith-based in your message, and you were talking about selling being a spiritual thing, what can we do as a spiritual exercise to help, not only just with the selling, but going into the closing? What can we do as a spiritual exercise to make that a little stronger?
Okay, so wow, that is a very good question. Okay, so here's the best answer that I can give you. You have to exercise, I like that word you use, you have to exercise visualizing the outcome you want with joy instead of visualizing the outcome you don't want with anxiety. Most people see clearly what they don't want, but they don't see clearly what they do want, because most people have got more practice in experiencing what they don't want than they do have practice experiencing what they want. So what you got to do is you got to see yourself closing the deal people saying, "You're my favorite person. You changed my life. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to buy this." And you got to see that. You got to see that happening before it happens, because that's the thing that will give you the energy to go through all the steps in the process.
Wow, you're right. That was a powerful question and a wonderful answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't think you were going to answer that way, but I really like the answer. I knew you were going to answer it pretty powerful though, because every time I've asked you questions, you were always come, with something. It's not necessarily profound. It's sometimes just reminding us of our spirit, reminding of us of our power, and just bringing it home. So I appreciate that.
And the power, Ashley, the power to joyfully anticipate the future is one of the greatest powers we have.
Wow, say that again. I like it.
The power to joyfully anticipate our future is one of the greatest powers we have.
Wow, Myron, I'm gonna bring it back home, but what I wanted to say is that what you just said, being the fact that you were right in the middle of Life Launch 2014, I try to strategically place everybody in the call in some sort of fashion, talking about launching your life, and that statement that you just made is perfect for the middle of Life Launch 2014 and what it represents. And like I said before, what it represents is taking your life to the next level, and that's exactly where we're at in this process, taking it to the next level and honing in on that joy. And I love it. I love it. That's very powerful stuff.
Thank you. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Can I share one last thought before we end? And I know it's 9:01, and I don't want to be the guy who never wants to hang up, but I really love teaching this stuff. Is it okay if I share one more really super powerful nugget?
Go ahead.
If a person really wants to create the life they desire, one of the things that you have to do is you have to wake up selling every day, because selling is like breathing. Now, I bet you never heard anybody say that before, did you?
No, not at all. Tell me. Yeah, that's awesome.
Selling is like breathing. Now, here's what I mean by that. Every day, breathing requires two things: inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Well, if you only exhale, eventually you're going to pass out. You have to inhale in order to breathe, in order to live. Well, every day you wake up spending money. You spend money before you put your shoes on in the morning. Everybody, every day you wake up, in our culture, spending money. You wake up, you go to the bathroom, and you brush your teeth, and as soon as you turn that water on and put that toothpaste, you just spent some money. You turn the light on in the bathroom, you just spent some money. You get dressed after you get done taking a shower, you just used water, you just used electricity. You heat that water, you just spent some more money. You go downstairs, you eat some food, you just spent some more money. You go out, you get in the car, you start up your car, you just spent some more money on gas. So all day long, without even thinking about it, on a subconscious level, you're spending money, which is exhaling financially. No wonder people can't breathe when they think about their finances. They're exhaling all the time, and they get paid once a week or once a month. If you start getting to the point where you're making offers to people on a daily basis and wake up selling every day, you will be able to breathe deeply and make all your dreams come true.
Wow. Wow, that's some great stuff. I love it. You always end as well. You always end with something very powerful, and I don't know that I can even take anymore. I've already written so many notes, and I've got a lot of things to think about. And you always leave me this way. So I want to, we have hundreds of people on the call tonight, Myron.
Fantastic.
Yes, and I know that at the beginning I had a little bit, this technology. You talk about fear, this technology that we have these days. While a lot of it is good and it allows us to reach out to hundreds of people and allows me to do replays and to reach out to individuals all over the nation and even in different countries. Sometimes we have a few hiccups, and I appreciate all of those that understand that and know that behind the scenes, it's all about me launching launching my own self, helping you launch your goals and stuff in Myron in the next year, and helping you all also launch your life. That's really important to me, and that's the most important thing. So when you said about closing and making it about other people, this Life Launch 2014 is about everybody else. And that's, once again, the last thing I want to end up, I know that you offered some wonderful things. Myron, what was that? Where do you go for that offer?
Go to MyronGolden.com, MyronGolden.com, and then click on the special offer button at the top of the website.
Okay. All right.
And
well,
actually, if you would be so kind, you're online right now. Can you go to that URL, make sure it's working well for you? Because, like you said, technology does some goofy things sometimes. I mean, it's working. It seems to be working fine on my end, but I just want to make sure it's working fine on your end as well.
Yes, I did actually go to it while we were on the call. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that. So, and I'm going to go again. I'm also going to send out the different offers from the different speakers and a few free gifts throughout the call in different emails. And also, throughout the event, once again, 2014, Life Launch 2014, the audio replays are on sale for $20.14. For those of you, I had somebody call Myron, somebody called me from Connecticut right before the call, and she asked me, she was going to be at work tonight, and she asked me if I could, if I could offer a replay, because she wasn't going to be able to listen to you. She's one of Myron's students, and she was so excited that he's going to be on the call tonight, and so she's going to get a replay as well. So those are really awesome, because I put, she called and wants
Fantastic. That. Deborah Lucas Jackson, probably.
Yes. Exactly. That's who it was. Yes. So like I said, I'm going to be sending out the replay, the link to the replay. It's $20.14. It will be in your email. And folks, I just want to let you know this is our 6th call. I'm looking forward to the last 3 on my last week, and that's the next one's going to be on Sunday. It's Brian Keith McNeil. I'm so excited to have him. He's going to be talking. A little bit about sales and business. The energy that he brings and the excitement that he brings is absolutely contagious. Okay, that's the word I'm going to go with. It's actually absolutely contagious, and I can't wait. I know that he's on the call right now because Myron, he was really looking forward to your phone call, and he's been on every single call, but he was really looking forward to listening to you, so I know he's here. But I can't wait to introduce him on Sunday. Same time, you will get an invitation, a reminder, and folks, that's it. That's it for tonight. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley. Have a great night.
All right, bye-bye.